Some music going on. Okay, so we're gonna start by making a list of what we want to do. So we want to deploy the latest changes freebase, merge, and deploy the latest changes. You want to rebase tests branch with master, update the pull request, and then go test some more. Alright, so let me open the chat first, just in case somebody comes watch. How does this work? Dashboard. Let me put it here so that we can see what's going on. So, dashboard, hide the video preview. Alright, hide the video preview, and we want to pop out the chat. Alright, let me move these somewhere else and chat somewhere else. Get rid of dashboard. Alright, have the chat here. Right, so this is a project. Let me start it up. That's what we always do. So let's go. What do I have here? Okay, let's go. That's the backend server. npm start to start it. And then the UI. That's the front end server and the API proxy, and we're going to start it too, so we can start coding. Okay, so what we did last time is that we have the tests branch, and that's based off an in progress branch. So I'm just going to merge to that, which is this one. I haven't been able to get code review from one of my partners, but should be okay for now to merge this. So let's just merge that. This pull request did a lot of refactoring and added a menu. So that's merged. Then no, not this one. UI. All right. So we're gonna go to master now. We're gonna pull. So now that's merged, and we're gonna deploy it. We're gonna package.json. We're gonna increment the version number because we did some changes, so that service worker updates when the code is deployed. We're gonna npm. Oh wait. Actually, I think I can do that with npm. npm version patch. All right, so that should do it. All right, yeah, that did it automatically. Cool. So what we're gonna do now is push this So master is in the latest release. And now we're going to deploy. I have it set up so that it deploys by doing a git push to the server. So with post receive hooks, it's actually gonna clone everything, do npm install, and restart the processes. I'm using forever on the server, so as you can see here, that's the stopped process. So now it's gonna go deploy everything. Once it's deployed, we'll check that it works. So let me open up reading web research and let's do Wikipedia, for example. So when this is done, we're gonna go do that. Alright, let's see. I've set today some background music because yesterday I had some commercial music, and on the recording there was muted parts, and on YouTube there was like I don't know, 15 copyright claims or something, and I don't know, it's just really horrible. So I'm just gonna use this background music, which I really like for concentration. Let me make it a little bit lower. Right. So this should be deployed. Let's see. So if it's deployed, we should see the menu, which wasn't there before. All right. So the menu works. Cool. And home works. There's nothing on the home, unfortunately. And if we go to about, we should see that the version of the application, which is the one we just deployed. So awesome. Deployed version, that's cool. Very nice. So I'm gonna mark that as done. Cool, that's done. Now we're gonna rebase the branch with master and update the pull request, because if we go to the pull requests, this is the test we did in the previous sessions. So all these commits are from this previous branch I just showed. These are just the tests we did yesterday. So what we're gonna do is go to test, tests, and we're gonna rebase it, rebase on top of master. Cool. And now we're gonna update the push request by pushing force. I don't know any other way of doing this, so that's how I do it. Cool. So now if we go to the pull request and we update, all right, here we have only the tests we added last time. So cool. All right, so this is done. Is it broken? No. This is done. Pull request is updated, and we're gonna go do some tests. So I don't think I need this anymore. All right, bye bye. And now let's do some testing. So we're gonna start the tests here. npm run test watch. Gonna make it a bit smaller so we can see more, and we're gonna make the window smaller. Right, so this is all the tests we have for now. Right, so let's get to it. So let's check the reducers, and then we'll check the actions. This is our reducers file. We already tested search. That's what we did the other day with toasts. So that's done. We're missing article and selected article. The articles reducer and the article reducer. So we're gonna test those independently. Yeah. Actually, we can probably test them together, and we can ensure that these actions are being passed to article. So in any case, I think we're going to start with the selected article, which, as you can see, is really simple. It just answers to one action, and it just changes the selected article by the title. So we now open our tests, the reducer tests, and we're gonna start with that. So that's gonna be the selected article reducer. I'm gonna bring this selected article. I'm not sure it's not exported, so we're gonna export it so we can test it. So save that, and now we can start describe selected article. Right, and now let me have a look. Should have done the tests first, but we were prototyping, so we didn't. So, right. So this just responds to a change article action. So we're gonna import that one. So we open the actions, change article. Where's this used? Yeah, so this one is just this action. I think we can just test the constant. That should be enough. So we're going to import the constant of the action from the actions. And now we're going to say it should initialize with no selected article, because when we start, if we're not on an article page, we're just gonna have no selected article, which makes sense. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create a selected article store undefined with no action and no state at the beginning. And that should be, so what's the structure of our store? Let me see. So the state is just the title, as we can see here. So the store itself is going to be the title. So what we're going to do is that this should be no. We're going to do assert.equal selected article, and then we're going to say there is no selected article. Now, how will we phrase this? So there is no selected article. Not sure if I'm doing assertions properly, but anyway. So this is here. No, and there's no selected articles. This should be the assert. All right, and we're missing closing the it clause. So this should be fine. So we'll say true. All right, cool. So now when we have this store, I'm going to copy that. So when we have the store and we receive a change article action, then we're going to change the selected article to be the current one. So it should save the selected article when receiving a change article action. So we're going to create the initial store, and then we're going to pass an action of type change article with a title. I'll format this line soon. SDF. We're gonna do some spacing here, some spaces there. All right, so we're gonna insert equal that. So let me pull this out. So this is gonna be initial selected article. It's gonna be just that. I realize we don't need to make that a function since we're not mutating things, so that should be that can work for several tests. So initial selected article, and then here this is initial selected article, and this is gonna be the change article action. So change article action is going to be just this object with change title and title ASDF. So it's a really small screen. All right, so let's format this a little bit better. So we're going to start equal the selected article. I messed up the parentheses. So selected article, then we want it to be equal to null, and this is the message. All right, cool. So this should work. Oh no, we didn't change it. Sorry, we're making a new test. So should have the selected article receiving a change action. So it shouldn't be null. Okay, I like this better without the message. Anyway, so we have to select the initial store. We're gonna change the article to be a different one, and change article action is gonna set the title to ASDF. So that's what our title should be, and that passes now. Cool, so that's tested. I don't think we need to test triggering the same action twice. This second test should prove that. So I think we're done on this one. Hi, Mr. MG Tech. For testing, I'm using just Node and Mocha. Since we are doing Redux and React, we can actually run the state and action tests in the server as well as the UI components. I still haven't gotten around to testing the UI components. I'll get to it hopefully today or another day. Right now I'm just testing reducers, which are just state containers, and the actions, which is just the side effects, like what triggers what. So if we go to the action tests, you can see here, for example, that search is a bit complicated. With the toast, I'm just triggering, like, I'm saying show a toast, and then what I'm checking is that two actions were triggered, one for adding the toast and one for removing later. So I can test everything on the server without having to do much mocking and all this. I have to mock some stuff sometimes, but the cool thing about running all the tests on the server is that they run really fast. You don't need to spin up a browser and wait for that to run. So it should be much faster to have a big suite of components. And we'll just do integration tests with a browser once we need them. So what was it doing? All right, so this store is tested. And now we need to move to the bigger one, which is the article store and the article reducer. Reducer, store, they are the same. I'm just using the terms interchangeably. So let's see what we can do. Let me open this up. Oh, hi, me too. Right, so we have this big store that contains the different articles of the that the user has visited through the session. So I'm gonna show the application. One moment. So localhost Wikipedia. So this is the application. It just shows an article of Wikipedia, and we have this initial payload, and then we can fetch the whole article, and that will give us the full article of Wikipedia. So every time you visit an article, then this article is going to be saved. We're keeping that in this store, which is just the articles store is just a map with the keys being the title, and the content of and the content of the entry is going to be the payload with the content of the article. And the article store is, as you can see, an object which has a document that we got back from the server. If the article is fully fetched, so full tells you if the article is full or not. As you saw, this is the full false is this kind of article, and the full true is when you have already fetched everything. So that tells you what the doc contains, if it's the full article or not. And expanded is if the user had the article expanded, so if he clicked read more or not. So that way we can say if the article is expanded, then if the full article is false, then we are loading the full article. It's a bit complicated, logic could be better, but once we have tests, it should be much easier, maybe, if we want to change it. So there's a few actions here. We're gonna go with the empty case, which is always easy to start with. So let me copy that and clean it up. So we're gonna have that. All right, but this is gonna be the articles reducer. Articles, which is not exported. So I'm gonna come here and export it to be able to test it. Export. And the actions, we still don't know what we're going to import from here, but this is the articles logic. So we're going to get the initial articles, and that should be articles with nothing. We don't need that for the moment. I'm going to delete this test. All right, so it should initialize with no articles. So we're going to check that it initializes as an empty map that we're going to be able to use later. So the initial articles is going to be a map. We're just going to delete equal, and we're going to remove the assertion message, which doesn't help much. So we're going to do true to see what it does. All right, and now if we set our expected test, it's empty. Cool, so now we have the easiest case. So what we're going to do now is go through these actions. I think in the order it makes sense is to do these ones first. So let me see the actions file and see how we're triggering those. So, or maybe not. No, here, actions file. So when we fetch the summary, we trigger this one. All right, so we'll test this one in the actions later, not in the reducer. And when we fetch the content, we're going to trigger the article content. All right, so we can do those two ones. So we can import, no, this one. That's for later. So we're going to import the two constants, the article summary and the article content, because that's what we're going to test now. So if this is going to be our action of type summary, summary action. So we're going to have an action that has an article with the content SDF, and the document is going to be, are we doing anything with the document in the store? No, just setting it. So it can be whatever we want right now. So we're just going to say content. I think it has sections and stuff, so sections, just that. All right. And the content action is going to be article content and article content with the title, and same thing, whatever. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to put it through here just to differentiate them. So we have those two actions to use in the tests. So now what we're going to say is it should store the article summary when receiving the article for the first time. So when it didn't exist in the store. All right. So when we get the summary of an article and it isn't in memory, we are going to check that it's actually saved. So what we're going to do here is we have the initial. So we're going to assert, just for sanity, assert equal that the initial articles of ASDF is undefined. So, all right, so the article doesn't exist in the initial store, and now we're going to trigger the new summary action. So we're going to do we're going to do articles with the initial articles, and we're going to pass the summary action. So now we're going to assert that the new summary.isdf is not equal. We're going to assert that the article is now not undefined, and we're going to assert that the document is stored. So that would be summary action doc. So that's saved there, and the title is stored. Equal title. We can do this with the summary action title, which is what we triggered. So in the store, the title that we triggered should be there. find this ASDF. Let's do it by pieces. So, does this work? All right. So if it's true here, damn it. Let me see. No API. Assert. I'm going to check really quickly the methods and assertions to see if there's an exists or something like that. Assert OK or assert. All right. So we're going to do just an assert. Assert that this exists. Okay. So now we want that the title is the same as in the action. Oh, we don't store the title in the article data structure. So this assertion is actually bogus. All right, so we want to check that the document is there. Okay, so we can probably just keep the last assertion, that we will have one only, and now we can add more assertions. So all right, so it should store the article. It should store a new article as it should store a new article summary as not full. So we received the summary, so we don't want the full property to be true, we want it to be false. So what we're going to do is same thing, we're going to have a new summary with the same action, and now we're going to say we want that the article we inserted, the full property should be false. So I'm going to try true, it should fail. Cool. And then I'm going to say false, because that's what it should be. It should be false because it's not expanded. So that works. We also want the expand property to be false. Well, yeah, because it's a new article, so, and we're getting the summary, so the expand should be false. So you should store a new article summary as not expanded. So same thing, but in this case, expand that I think, yes, should be false. We're gonna try with true. And now the correct assertion, and that works. All right. So for now, this is all. Once we, hi Hercule, I'm doing 3,000. I see there's been some dropped frames, like 1%. It's stable right now. Should be better. Hopefully. My connection sometimes has some hiccups, but it should be better now. Hopefully. If it's not, please say it again. I'm not sure how to change it. I'm doing a bitrate of 3,000. I'm supposed to have 10 megabytes upstream, so should be able to handle it. Yesterday was 2 hours and I had no drop frames at all. So yeah. All right. So cool. So, all right, we tested the article summary. So later, if we get the article content first, then we will discard the article summary because that's just a partial piece of the article, and we have the full one. So for the moment, we're not going to test that. We'll test it later. I'm going to create the assertion to remember. But so it should, I think this is a thing. Skip. All right. So cool. So it should not store an article summary if we have the article content already. So I'm gonna keep that for later because we have to do the article content tests first. So let's check the reducer. So we've handled this one. That should be fine. As you see, there's some code for ignoring the full the summary if we have the full article, but we'll deal with that test case later. I remembered. So now we're going to test the article content. So this is not this, but a new assertion. So it should store a full article, a new full article. So how did I phrase that before? It should store a new summary when it didn't. All right. When, so I'm gonna copy this. Can I do that midstream? And I do that on OBS midstream. I'm also doing text editing, so maybe, I don't know, maybe that has something to do. Maybe not. Just tell me if it should work. I don't want to crash the program, and I'll change it now midstream. We can check if it works better. Thanks for checking that up. So now we're gonna. This is basically the same test as before. So, but for the full article. So we're gonna get the initial articles, ASDF that shouldn't exist. We're gonna create the new content store, and it's gonna be articles, initial articles, and we're gonna pass the content action instead. And we're gonna say that the new summary should be the same one as the expanded one. I'm using a comma here. This should work. If it doesn't, because I changed the name of the variable. Okay, cool. So I need to change this to, we saw the failing case and now it works. Awesome. And now this is basically the same thing, just this one. Expanded may or may not be true. But yeah, so you should start a new full article as full because it's full. So we're gonna copy this. Copy this too. Oh shit. Okay, I can do that. Let me finish up these. I'll finish up this article content test and restart the stream. All right, so we have the new content, initial articles, content action. Let me ask. Let me ask if the other people are having problems with the stream. Maybe your connection. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try it out. All right, so cool. So we have the new content. Whoa, this is not correct. Content action. Okay. All right. Content action. So we're gonna get the full article, and we want to check that it's full. So we're just gonna do full. Should be true. We're gonna try with false. This should fail. And now we change it to what we want it to be, true. And we check that it actually works. So we've got the full article. The resulting article in the store is full. Cool. Oh, awesome. Hercule, can you try restarting the tab? Maybe? I don't know. Or check a different stream and see if it's your connection. I wouldn't want to disconnect the 3 people I have. Woohoo! Which is awesome. Thank you guys for staying with me. So we're checking that this is, we don't need deep equal for this actually. Just an equal should be enough. Cool. So now there's nothing else to check here. We're just setting it to full to true. So now we're going to check the other condition. So we can do that now that we have the other test. So we want to, should not store an article summary. We have the article content already. Okay, so we're gonna say we're gonna get the full content in there. We're gonna get the full content in there. We're gonna check that the document is the same as the content action document. So the full article is going to be there. And now what we're going to do is trigger late summary. We're going to trigger the summary now with the same title. We're going to trigger the summary with the same title, which we do with these 2 actions. Summary action and content action have the same title, so that's fine. So we're going to trigger the summary on once we have the new content. We're going to trigger the summary, and that should ignore it. After we trigger that, the late summary state should be with the title. The document should still be the full article, not the incomplete one. And we're gonna need to do deep equal here. Deep equal and deep equal. All right, how do we prove that this worked? Let me try with the summary action. So this should fail because it shouldn't be the summary action. And what it is the full content, so that's good. So this test works. So we've covered the article. We've covered this condition here, and we're checking all the time that the articles store is passing these actions to the article store, because we're testing logic in article through the articles store. So that's good too. So now we're missing these other 2 actions. Expand article should be really easy. It should be setting the expanded to true, so that's going to be really easy to test. It should expand the article when getting an expand article action. Awesome, Hercule. That's great. It should expand the article and get an expand article action. Alright, so this one should be short. We're gonna get an article. Okay, we're gonna get the summary. What's with this indentation? We're gonna get the summary over the initial articles. We're gonna get the summary of an article, and then we're gonna expand it. So we're gonna import the expand. Let me see the actions if we have an action that does just that. Actions, expand. Yeah, so we have an action that just does that, which is always, oh no. Oh no, it's a huge action. So we have to create a small action here. Okay, no problem. So expand article is gonna be expanding an article with the title ASDF. Same title as the other action so that we can test it. Some spacing there. Alright, so you're gonna assert dot equal that the, let me make it cleaner. Const articles. Let me see. What did we do with expanded? Oh, expanded should be false when the article summary. So we don't need to assert that here. So we're just gonna, we're getting, damn it, expanded article. So we're gonna get the articles, we're gonna add the summary, and then we're gonna send it the expand, how do they call it? Expand article, expand, I'm gonna say action. Action. Expand action. Action. Alright, so we're gonna get the initial articles, we're gonna add the summary, then we're gonna expand, send the expand action to that title, and this should give us the full state. Expanded article. So now we can assert that expanded article of the summary action dot title dot expanded. This should be true. I'm gonna say false. I like verifying always that the tests work properly, not just pass because they pass. I'm not sure if I broke something. Jesus Christ. Let me restart the watcher. Is this okay? Oh, we didn't import that. Expand article. Alright, we should be good to go now. Okay, so I'm gonna restart the test watcher. npm run test watch. This should fail. We were in the failing test. Cool. So it's saying it should be it's true, which is what we want it to be. So we're checking that the article is expanded to true after we send the expand action. So that should have modeled most of the state. We're missing the article from DB, which is when we load the article from the browser database from IndexedDB. We're just gonna set it as it is. So we're just gonna test that. That should be really easy. So let's go. Let me see article from. Let me see this in the actions to see what we're doing with it. No, not the test. The actions. All right. So yeah, just an ad hoc action like the other times. So what we're gonna do? Not the actions reducers. What we're gonna do now is go to the reducer tests, and we're gonna create this dump action. Not dump action, from DB action. Cool. So the title is going to be ASDF as before, and the article is going to be an object that should be merged with, should be put into the store. So we're just going to say, so for example, we're going to make a different object, different from the other ones. So we're going to say document, this should be from DB through whatever. So let me do sections. I don't want to be confusing from DB. That doesn't matter. What is this? All right, so we're gonna have that. We're gonna make expanded to something weird like yes, and we're gonna make full to whatever we want. This is just a test article, making it different to check. So full is gonna be probably that doesn't matter. What's up? Title. What did I do? Oh, article. All right. So let me put the object there, and now say article. Cool. So now it's saying it's not used, right? We can see the warnings here at the bottom. I have a link turn, and you can see the warnings in the code down here. Cool. So we have this action now. We're gonna import the constant because we don't have it. Article from DB. I'm gonna format this a little bit so that it doesn't go over 80 characters. Now we can come back down here and say that it should store the article from the DB as it is. So let's go. So what we're gonna do is assert deep equal that the article from DB action the title is, let me see, article. What are we doing? So it's merging it actually. Alright, so that the article is the same as the from db action dot article. Okay, so for getting the DB article state, we're just gonna do articles with the initial articles, and we're gonna pass the from DB action. So we're gonna get the initial state, we're gonna send it the from database action, we'll have the payload, and that should give us the new state, which is the state with the database article in there. And then we're gonna check that the article is actually there. Get it from the title of the action, and then check that it has the payload there. So seems like it's worked. Let me check it with an empty object. Cool, yeah. So everything's there in store. Awesome. All right, so that should be it. We have the article store, we have the articles tested to the selected article. Cool, so off to commit. Next, we have to test the actions that deal with the article, because those are quite complicated. So that's going to be interesting. For now, let's commit. We're going to commit the. So we exported these two reducers. Then let me commit separately the selected article one, because I forgot before. So can I split this one? Yeah, so selected article I want it, articles I don't want it. And now in the test, I'm going to split that. I can't, so I'm going to edit. I'm going to remove the article changes. This is the article test, so I'm going to remove that. And we're going to leave only the selected article test. All right, so commit test selected article reducer. Cool. And now the other one, export the articles. And these are all the tests we added. Cool. Yes, commit test articles and article reducers. All right, cool. So now to the meat of the issue. So we're gonna open the actions, and the thing is, these are the constants. The thing is that we have a few actions for the article that do quite a lot, because this is pretty side effect heavy code. So we're gonna try to test it and see that it dispatches the actions that it has to dispatch properly. Yeah, so the easiest way we can do this is, this one's gonna be annoying. Let's reorganize the tests a little bit, because I noticed that I didn't actually oh, my music. Wait a second. Music for programming. Let me play something else. Let's see this one. Okay, so I'm just saying like a section and then no methods or anything. With the reducers, it is fine, because all the logic is in the same reducer. But with the actions tests, it was getting a little bit weird, because we have search actions here. So what I'm gonna do is this. So let me find the actions file. Search. Okay, this one. So this is the one that I was testing there. So I'm gonna say describe search. Maybe, I don't know. That seems okay to me. So now we're gonna go down, start the search request. All right, indent that, and whoops, close that. Okay, search. So that should still work, but we should see here, yeah, search actions, the search method. Then we're going to do the same thing with toasts. So we have this one here, and in the toast actions we have these two which are dumb, but we're testing this one. So that's what I'm going to say on the test. Describe show toast, then indent that. Whoa, right, and that should work too, but we should see show toast here, and this is reducers, so that should be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like that for now. All right. What's it gonna do? Actions. Do I have anything else here? So toasts, we already changed search. Okay, so that's all. So now we're gonna go test these other actions, which is kind of annoying, but have to do it. Let's test first these two ones, fetch summary and fetch content, which are the smallest ones. So all right, so we're gonna test the fetch summary action creator, or however it's called. So what this does is just call the API, and when it's done, it is going to trigger the article summary action. So that's what we're going to test. Let's go back. Article actions. So now import fetch summary from actions, and we're gonna need this to, I'm not sure if duplicating this is gonna be a good idea. Let me see. Yeah, it's actually complaining. So we're going to move the API import here to the top. Should work. Cool. Import the fetch summary we said we were testing. And we want to import to the constant, which is article summary, to test that it triggered it. So all right, so describe article actions. We're gonna keep all of those inside here. Oh wait, I'm gonna commit the previous change actually. So let me see. So what is this change? All right, I want to split this. Can I? So we don't want that change. No. We don't want that change. And we want this, which is indenting all these things. Okay, so now we check the div, is just the indentation and the describes that I added. Cool. So nest tests under their function name. Nest action test under the function name. This is going to be useful because article actions actually have a few methods that we have to test. So that's why it's going to be useful now. So now we're going to say describe. I'm going to describe the fetch summary method, and that's going to have, let's say, so after each one of these we're also going to restore the mocks. I'm not sure if all of them, well, we definitely need to do it here, so let's do it here for the moment. So how did we do this? Issue started search request. Okay, so it should start an API request. So we need to mock the API. Whoops. We're gonna mock the API, and this API is calling lead. So we're gonna call mock the API lead. It should start an API request to the lead endpoint. So we're gonna mock the lead endpoint, and we're gonna resolve with whatever. I don't think it actually matters for now. Yeah, it doesn't. It needs a document. It's gonna be put in there. So yeah. So we're gonna resolve it with the string. Got it. Alright, so we've mocked that, and now we're gonna call fetch summary, which takes the title, which takes the title. This is the title of the article. We're gonna use ASDF because that's what we do all the time. And since this is an async function, it's gonna return a function. So I'm gonna call that function, and we're gonna pass in the dispatch, which is what interests us, because that's what's gonna tell us what action was triggered. So I'm gonna resolve with that, and here we're gonna pass a dispatch function. Action is gonna get an action, and we're going to assert dot equal the title and document. So we're gonna assert that the action.title is, I'm gonna need some brackets here. So when the action is triggered, we're gonna assert that the title of the action that was triggered is the same as the title I passed in, so it should be ASDF. And we're gonna also assert that what we responded with here is in the document. So we're gonna wanna see that the document is got it, because that's what we responded with. Okay, so that works. And we also wanna assert that so when this is finished, we're gonna wanna know, so this is returning this, and this is a promise. So when everything's finished, we're gonna check that the method was called once and with the argument, this method. So we don't care about that. Let me find the catch thing. Yeah, this one. So we're gonna that. So if something fails inside the promise, it actually bubbles up to the test report. We need to add the done callback here, because this is asynchronous, or it should be. All right, done. So we're gonna call done when everything's finished, and we're gonna. So here we have to test that the function was called once. We did here at some point. Here, yep. All right, so we're gonna assert that the lead was called, the API lead method was called, that the call count was 1, we only called it once, and the argument we passed in was the title, which is in this case ASDF. All right, so let me, okay, cool, then got it, that's there. So this should work. Let me see that this fails. All right, it's 1. Okay, we're gonna trust the test. It does what it has to do, probably. Cool, so we have this one. So now we're gonna wanna do the same with fetch content. So we're done with this one. So we're just gonna copy and paste because it's basically the same thing, same test. Fetch content. We're gonna have to import that here. Fetch content, and we're gonna need the article content action. Wait, I'm gonna do something. Skip. I forgot to test that the action type that was triggered was the type that we should expect to be triggered. So when we call fetch summary, we should see an article summary action triggered, not any kind of action. Cool. So we're not going to skip this anymore. Start the mocks. It should start an API request to the full endpoint. So we're going to mock full, I think. Yeah, we're going to mock the full endpoint. And so we're going to mock the full endpoint. We're going to call fetch content with the same title. I'm going to respond with got it too. And then the action that's triggered should be of type article content, and the title should be the title we passed in, and the document should be what we passed in. So same action. Those two are basically the same, just going to a different endpoint. Cool. So when it's done, we're going to check that it's called. The API full method was called once with the title. The API full method was called. That's false because we are saying lead here. Full. All right. Cool. 2 blank lines. Okay. Cool. We've tested these two. If we go here, we should see the if we come here, we should see article actions, fetch summary, fetch content with their test. So that worked. I'm gonna make a little stop for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.